Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We have another exciting unboxing video for you today. So I'm taking a break in between all of the swarm catching and figured I'd go ahead and do a quick unboxing video. So Vevor reached out to me and asked if they could send me one of their wax-coated beehives, Langstroth hives with a deep and a super. But what's really cool about this one is that the side has a viewing window so that you can actually pull this window open and you can see the bees inside the deep body. So I've never seen one of these in person, so I was like, sure, I'll take it. So full disclosure, this is a paid promotion. I did not purchase this. It does retail on Vevor's website for $125. But I thought, you know, it was a neat concept, and we're going to put it into practice to see how it actually works out in the apiary and see, you know, if it's pretty cool to be able to open up a window and look inside and see what your bees are up to. So let's go ahead and get this unboxing started, and we'll see what this looks like. And while I'm opening this, I was saying taking a break from the swarming. I've lost count of how many swarms I've had, you know, not only in my own apiary to catch, but just, you know, swarm calls from others too. It's been a great spring here. We've had an amazing flow so far. Some of my fellow beekeepers in this area have been talking, and they said, you know, some have been doing it a lot longer than I have. I've only been doing this 4 years. And they said, you know, one of the best flows they've seen in a very long time. You know, maybe a couple decades or so. Some beekeepers are already extracting. Some honey is ready. Some honey is not. But the bees are filling it so fast that they are actually packing the brood nest, which is an issue because, you know, that can cause a colony to become honey-bound, which results in more swarming. So a lot of beekeepers are spinning what they have, just spitting it out, wet nectar, just to be able to give the bees something back to store this, to store their honey in, because this flow is just incredible. So, okay, let's take a look at what we have inside here. All right. And Vevor makes all sorts of equipment. They have a huge inventory on their website. Beekeeping is not the only thing that they do. I do have their 4-frame electric extractor, which I've showcased in a couple of videos. I also did an unboxing video of a manual hand crank extractor, which was fantastic. It worked a lot. I mean, it worked a lot better than I had thought. I always thought like the manual hand cranking was going to be pretty laborious. And it turns out it actually was pretty easy. Okay, so it comes with this nice installation guide. Again, this is just one deep body and one super, and I believe 10 frames in each. So comes with the installation guide. I can already see here that we've got everything you need to assemble your frames. So I'm going to go ahead and take those out. The top bars, bottom bars. Set those aside. All right. And I think this is, I believe they make theirs out of fur, if I remember correctly. So everything is wax coated. Yep. Looks like it's got a pretty good coating of wax on there. This is a solid bottom board. They also provide an entrance reducer. Let's set this aside. I'm going to toss this on the floor for now. All right, comes with 10 sheets of foundation. It is waxed. Appears to be pretty heavily coated with wax, so that's always very nice. All right, more frame pieces. These are your bottom bars. Looks like it's the wedge and groove type of frame style. Here's your end pieces for your deeps. And here's your end pieces for your supers. So I get to assemble more frames. Okay. 10 sheets of foundation for your supers. Those are waxed as well. Nice coating of wax on them. And then this would be the ends of for your super and the ends for your deeps. I'll set those up here. More frame. And there's going to be 20 total frames there, 10 deeps and 10 supers. Now, I believe this is your handles for the viewing windows. And I'm curious if they made that out of glass. We'll just have to find out. Packaging is very nice. Nothing's going to get damaged. They've got lots of cardboard and this foam material to cushion everything. So these are another end for the super and one more end for the deep. Oh, cool. And here's your viewing sort of window. Smells good. So that there's a little inset here. I'm sure the handle screws in there. And it looks like it's a piece of plastic here that will end up maybe securing. I will have to read the instructions, but I see some ventilation holes here. And looks like you might end up securing this on the back side. Not quite sure. But that seems to make the most sense to me, where this little window would still not be affected by that. So there's a bigger one and a small one, I presume for the deep and also for the super. This may have a coating on it that they use to protect plastic sometimes. I'll just have to play with that, see if that peels off. So here's the one, and they've got their name displayed on it. That's nice. For the deep. And here's they have a viewing portal for the super too. That's pretty cool. So you get to look inside both, see if you got bees in both. All right, I think these are the window sheets. And they've got an inner cover. I do not see a notch on this inner cover. The bee spacing does look appropriate. Maybe a little thick here. That could present a problem where the bees could end up building a little bit of brace comb above the individual frames, but time will tell on that. A lot of companies like these plastic excluders. This is the same one that I got from that maybe Hive sent me. I'm not a big fan. I don't like the plastic excluders. I know they work. I just prefer the metal ones, personal preference, but I can understand why they send the plastic ones. It is nice that they include one though. And then you have your telescoping outer cover. And I think that's it. Drop my box cutter. So very nice telescoping outer cover, all coated with beeswax on the inside, all the way around. So I think this would, and of course, a sheet of aluminum to keep the elements out here for the telescoping cover. But the wood looks to be very good quality. Yeah, there's some knots in it, but that won't hurt anything. Heavy coat of beeswax on here. I mean, it's even kind of, there's even some extra here where you can tell. So they went pretty generous with the beeswax. So like I said, I think this would hold up very well in the elements. And so that's it. So I think what I'll do next is I'm going to go ahead and put the super and the deep together. I'm going to read the instructions offline so you don't have to sit there and watch me read. And then I'll go ahead and start assembling the frames, get those put together, see how they fit together, make sure they're a good fit with the foundation. I'm sure they will be. And then we'll put the whole thing together. and give it a final look over. And then I'm going to get it out in the yard because I have 2 colonies and swarm traps, one that's been there 3 weeks that I really need to get out, and I'm going to put them in this colony, and I'm praying that they haven't made a huge mess inside that swarm trap and that they built their comb nice and straight and didn't go all wonky. So I'll only need to use 5 of the deeps that came with this, because the 5 that are in the swarm trap I will place inside here, likely has brood and food all throughout it since they've been there for several weeks. And then I'll probably go ahead and throw the super on these because, again, we're in an awesome flow here. So, and I'm running out of supers. So this was very good timing on Vevor's part. So thank you very much, guys. Yeah, but let's go ahead and get this together and we'll give it a final look. Okay, so we've got everything assembled here. The frames went together very easy. I just used wood glue. It's kind of a foolproof the way that they've designed these, the way they go together. I didn't have to use a square to make sure that they were level. Super simple, super easy. You can see that got the viewing windows installed. So just this little door is held together by 2 little pieces of wood there that you rotate. And then there's this piece of clear plastic. So you can see the bees in between here. I'm curious if they're going to propolize. I'm sure they'll probably propolize this ventilation if they don't want it. And they're probably going to propolize around the outer edge of that plastic. But yeah, it was pretty simple to put together. Just have to rotate these. Same with this door down here. Comes right off. It's got a little handle here. So that's pretty cool. I think it's going to be neat just for, to be able to see what the bees are doing in there. The only thing I was wondering about is, would it be better to have the viewing door maybe here? I thought about it because a lot of times, bees may not be on frame 1 or frame 10. They may be in the middle here. But then you wouldn't get to see them walking around on a piece of foundation. So I think it is best to have it on the end here like they do have it. It'd be cool to have 2 doors, though, where you could pull the door maybe off here to see how big the cluster is, gauge it. Because you're not going to be able to tell just by looking through this window here. Like I said, all the frames have a nice coating of wax on it. You can smell it. So I run only 9 frames in my supers so that the bees will draw the wax out further. It'll be a little bit fatter comb, which makes extracting a lot easier. So they make this handy dandy little spacer tool that allows you to perfectly space 9 frames in a 10 frame box. And again, you can see there's more space in between the frames, so the bees will draw the wax wider. So when you go to extract with your extracting knife, it just makes it so much easier because the wax is standing proud of the frame here so that you can cut that cappings off when you go to do your extraction. So that's it. I'm going to give this thing a try. I'm not a fan of plastic queen excluders, but I started with 10 colonies this year overwintering, and I am up to 23 colonies. So I am running out of equipment. I think I do have 1 metal queen excluder left, but you know what? Let's just give this a try. It's what came with the kit, so we're going to put it in there. So let's go ahead and get out to the yard and get some bees put in this brand new Vevor Beehive kit. It's a swarm that I trapped in one of my swarm traps about 3 weeks ago. So I'm praying there's not a huge mess in there, but we're going to find out when we get in there. But let's get some bees inside this thing and see how it works. All right, out here in the yard, let's get these bees installed here in our Vevor hive. This is a swarm trap I make. If you're interested in how I make it, I have other videos. You go back in my history and look, you'll see it. They work really well. I've got 2 of them hung up, and they caught a swarm within 24 hours or so. So this can be hard to get the lid off sometimes if they didn't propolize it too bad. All right. I hope there's not a huge mess in here. And there is the chance that we could end up finding a red dot queen in here because these swarms very likely came from my yard. This is heavy. This thing weighs 40, 50 pounds. There's got to be a ton of honey in here. Of course, I left my hive tool. I'll be right back. If I don't find a red dot queen in here, I'll probably mark her green. So let's see how we can. It's tight in here, so and I'm try not to roll. I don't want to roll the queen. It's hard to get this first frame out. Especially when it's this heavy too. Oh man. Try to smoke these bees down. Oh, and this one's probably covered with honey. Once you get the first frame out, it's a lot easier. There we go. Oh, losing my grip on this one. Oh, man. Oh, that is so heavy. Just go real slow so you try not to roll the queen there. She's on here. Okay. Nice looking comb. Have the sun. Yeah, there's brood in there, so we've got a laying queen. I am going to try to spot her. I'd like to get her marked. So I've got 5 frames in here. Oh, that was not good. Well, I hope she wasn't on that one. We'll call this one the blooper reel. All right. Not the first time that's happened. Just slipped out of my hand. If the queen was on that frame, I should be able to tell relatively soon enough, so I'm just going to be very careful. Try to smoke these bees down. Yep. Sometimes we drop frames. It happens. All right, let's go with the next one here. Ah, she tagged me. They're mad now. I may have to glove up for the rest of this. I think I left my gloves over there. I'm going to go throw my gloves on because they're angry. I don't blame them. Well, they were nice and calm until I dropped a frame. So let's see. Just making sure the queen's not on this brick down here. Okay. Let's keep going. That was fun. There's a lot of bees in here. They definitely needed more room. And they're okay. Let's see what we got here. Oh, look at that. So that's okay. We'll deal with that comb on the bottom. And that can happen when you leave these swarms in too long. So we'll get that cleaned up. I've just been pretty busy and had them in there a little bit longer than I would have liked to. So let's go ahead and take care of that. And what I'll do is I'll just lay the frame down. I just want to make sure the queen's not on here. And I don't see her. Make sure she's not on this side. They've calmed down quite a bit. Okay, so what I typically just do is take your hive tool and scrape that off. Just do it pretty gently. Shake the bees off. They'll go off of it. Just like that. Set it aside. This bigger piece is going to be a little trickier. And I'm sure there's brood in it, but I could salvage it. I'll have to see if there's actually there's no eggs in there. So she hasn't laid in this yet. Nice piece of comb though. Yep, I knew that was going to happen. Okay. All right. Got to be very careful because it's barely attached on the sides and you don't want the whole thing to slough off. So that's why I'm trying to keep it vertical like this. Because if you recall, this was all starter strips. So it's not an entire sheet of foundation like this. Okay, let's try the next frame here. Okay. And I may not find the queen today, and that's okay. This one's heavy too. Oh, look at that. Good grief. Yep, they were in here too long. And they're going to use every bit of space that's available to them. So I'm probably going to have this problem with both of my traps. Sure is pretty though. Let's see if we see our queen walking around. Yeah, I don't see her yet. I don't see her on there either. I bet, yeah, all the frames are like this. It's just a mess, man. That's what you get. Leaving them in there too long is the downside. But I've had much bigger messes than this. I still don't see the queen. All right, let's get this cleaned up. Try to get most of them off. There's not many on the back side here. Again, you got to be careful because this comb will want to slough off if you don't hold it just right. That's better. All right, let's take a look again. Heavy frame. Now, I really don't think she's on this frame. I don't see her. She's got drone brood in there in the bottom. Okay. Sorry this is taking longer than normal because of this mess, but this is what you get into. This is what can happen. This is just a big colony stuffed in here. And they were doing exactly what bees are supposed to do, making use of every available space. So here's another messy frame. These almost look like lions. Are they called lions? Lay-ins? Those frames that are extra long. It's almost what this looks like. We've got to have a queen crawling around here somewhere. And I see eggs in here. There's eggs here, so single eggs. Well, I don't see her though. Make sure she's not on that comb. Well, on the bright side, I'm going to have some extra beeswax. Well, there's times I wish I had 3 arms. Ugh. Okay. I did not make this easy on myself. Oh, my Lord. Yep. Lots of eggs, brood. Got some worker brood. Looks like some drone brood, too. The only thing is, I'm seeing, like, a lot of drones. I haven't really seen good worker brood pattern yet, so I'm hoping we don't have, like, a drone-laying queen already that didn't mate very well. But time will tell. I'll keep an eye on this colony. Somebody's trying to call me. I'm a little busy. Okay, last one. Goodness. What a mess. Oh, man. Oh, heavy frame, heavy frame. Look at that. Goodness. There's worker brood. Okay, so our queen's just fine. I just don't know where she is. Oh, I hate to lose that brood. Oh, man. What a mess. Oh, I hate doing that. Really need to put that in a empty frame with some rubber bands. Dad, will you go get some rubber bands for me? I'm going to try to salvage this. May or may not work. Didn't spot our queen. She could still be in the box. I'm going to try to salvage this brood, but it's not going to be easy. Oh, there's our queen right there. Yep. She's a red dot queen, just like I suspected. Okay, so I got to get her in the colony. She's right there. She's skinny. And try to salvage it. Well, now that I know the queen's there, I can lay this down. I'm going to try to salvage that brood. And she's walking around right here. To the best of my ability, I'm going to try to salvage this. Keep an eye on the queen there. Make sure she doesn't... I mean, if she goes down, that'd be great. She's right here. Get these bees out of the way. Yeah, because I'd really like to salvage that. That's a lot of That's a lot of brood. Where'd she go? She's still walking around on there. Yeah, I lost her. Where is she? Well, that makes me feel better that I know I didn't drop her when I dropped that frame. She might have gone down. She doesn't like the light. I don't see her. I'm waiting on my dad to go get some rubber bands. I'm going to try to rubber band that into one of these empty frames. Yeah, I think she went down. Because I don't see her. I don't see her walking around anymore, which is fine. She's in there. Let's see if she's on this side. Yep, she's on this side. Okay, there she is. She's on the honey. So I'm going to get her into the, well, I'd like to get her in the colony here. I need to move that. Move that brood. She's walking around right up here. Let's see if I can move this away. This is hard to do one-handed, especially when the queen is on this frame. So I see her right there. I'm going to set this down. She's on the top now. She's right up here. Go, what are you doing? Here, why don't you crawl down in there? This is, okay, I think she went down. Now, set this frame. No, she's right there. You're driving me nuts, Your Highness. Just trying to move this brood. And it's really hard to do one-handed, so. All right, she's on that frame. Just keep an eye on her. That's what I was trying to do. Okay, make sure she's still there. Yep, there she is. Okay. Take this out so I don't roll her. Whew, that was not ideal at all. One of the more difficult installs I've done. It's my own fault. And I see now one of the starter strips fell out. Oh, what a mess. Sometimes you get messes in beekeeping, folks. It happens. But this Vevor, I'm pretty excited about having that viewing window over here on the side. That'll be cool. We're going to try to rubber band this. And I want to make sure I pay attention to which orientation it was. So this is where I scraped, so it was this way. We want to make sure that you install it the same orientation up and down as what they had. Smoke these bees down. Then I'll get the rest of the stragglers here in a minute. I hear my dad coming back. And some of this brood may have gotten damaged. I can't help it. Well, I apologize. The video just stopped recording for some reason. So I just wanted to give my final thoughts on this. I got everything put together just fine. We've got the 10 frames in here in the deep. I've got 9 frames in this super, and I use the spacer to space them out. Use the queen excluder that came with the kit. My final thoughts on this, you know, I think it's a great kit. For $125, I think it's really hard to beat. I appreciate Vevor giving me the opportunity to give this a try. It's, you know, all the frames are heavily waxed. The hive itself is coated in heavy wax, so you're not going to have to paint this, which is an added plus. Everything went together very easily. The construction was well. The wood, the quality of the wood is good. So I would give this 2 thumbs up. If you're interested in purchasing one of those, I'll put a link to their website and to this kit in the description down below. But yeah, I'm excited to see how this works out, especially with the viewing windows. I'm curious to see how those hold up over time. You know, make it through a couple winters and we'll see how it goes. But it's going to be neat to be able to open that and just see the bees doing their thing inside there. So if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, or give it a thumbs up if it made you laugh when I'm dropping frames, you know, like a klutz, I guess. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.